Hello, how you doing today?
Any better, I'd be twins.
Okay, don't know what that
I don't
means,
know
but
what that means exactly.
that's,
It means good, but I don't know how that would be like it would be two people.
that didn't make sense. Yeah, but that's okay.
I don't
So,
know. Apparently, we just do this Zuma food now.
I mean, really, we're in the season of Zoom.
I'm over it. I hate Zoom. I
Well,
mean, it's convenient. I don't hate Zoom as a. I
yeah,
just
it's
hate
not.
that like we're
Yeah,
that busy. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Actually, I shouldn't say I hate being this busy. It's a blessing to be this busy,
yeah. I,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Take
agree.
that negativity out your mouth, Greenberg.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So you have had a busy weekend.
Uh-huh.
Captain UCF celebrates the arts.
Yeah, shout out to UCF, all the arts, and the different groups that performed for 2 weeks for UCF celebrates the arts. So that was cool. And then so this weekend we had the a choir, our choir, and then we had a national high school festival, choir festival. So that was cool also. And we had my dear friend Dr. Lynn Gackel down to you know run that. So it was really cool.
That's super cool. Super, super cool.
Yeah,
It was fantastic. Did a good job.
thank you.
I was there for both.
I enjoyed it.
Hold on one second. Sorry, my kid just walked in here, so I had to mute and scream so he would not like come in here and start running his mouth.
Okay,
See, it's live. It's live.
accurate.
This is live information. It's action. It's what's happening. This is what's going on.
Accurate.
Live your best life. Okay. Um, it was funny. I was listening to a podcast earlier today,
Uh-huh.
not our podcast, a different podcast,
Mm-hmm.
but they were interviewing somebody, and then you heard ding, dun, 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 and somebody rang their doorbell.
And that's so irritating.
It was funny.
Hello.
And they're like, and someone is at my door, but I'm not going to answer it. It's probably a delivery. That's what they said. It was funny.
Yeah, and they was probably right.
I mean, they probably were right. Anywho, uh, so you did the UCF Celebrates the Arts. That was a
Yes.
success. Uh, and it
Then,
was,
but I'm sorry, go
that was Friday night, right? Was UCF Celebrates the Arts?
choir
Or was
portion.
Friday and Saturday both your UCF?
Both
Was
of
they
them.
both? Okay.
Yeah. It was
Both was
fun.
good.
Thank you. Yeah, they worked hard. I was really happy with them.
So Jacoby, my 12-year-old, went to one of them.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he sure did.
And you acted like that was brand new information.
I mean, I forgot for a second. You for real.
Um, so one of the choirs sung a song, Refugee.
Okay.
I mean, is that what it's called? I don't know if that's what it's called.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Can
Great
you sing a
song.
line of it?
Refugee, refugee,
Yeah.
refugee.
Okay. That's the one.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. So they started it going like this, like
Uh-huh.
that. And Jacoby said, all the choir people out there are getting ready to like cringe, but also laugh. Jacoby goes, man, I thought they were getting ready to sing We Will Rock You.
We will, we.
Because of the,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was like,
no, that was not
yeah,
it.
no, that's not quite the choral ditty, sir. Could you choralize that?
You can correlate anything. The
Well,
question is, would you want
should you
to?
should you choralize that?
Yeah.
I saw a choir. I think Daniel Jackson is the one who posted it. I could be lying,
Okay.
but I think that's who it was. But I don't know anyway. But it was like, I don't know, middle school kids maybe.
Uh-huh.
And they were chorastically. What's the
Mhm.
word?
I have no idea.
We're gonna use chorastically, and I'm gonna make it up if it's not a word. And we're
Uh,
gonna use it.
mhm.
But whip and nay nay.
Okay.
It was funny.
Watch me whip, watch me
Literally like
nay, whip, whip. That's
but they were
hilarious.
doing it. It was
Here's
funny.
a- Why y'all whipping in that nay?
Yeah. I mean, which, I don't know what your opinion is on it, but I think if it gets kids into it, that's cool.
Yeah, in some instances, absolutely.
You don't agree.
No, I do agree. But there sometimes was just not appropriate. That's all. I'm not gonna whip an nene on a Renaissance piece, a Bach. You know, let's whip an nene
Right.
on Beethoven. Why would I do that? Yeah.
Um, anything else, Rigoletto, you'd like to add?
Opera Orlando is opening if you're in the area. Opera Orlando opens with Rigoletto, and it's a great, great opera. And it's the 22nd this Friday and the 24th on Sunday. We are in rehearsals. We've been in rehearsals the whole time, and then we have rehearsal tonight, and we have rehearsal tomorrow night. And then we open. I am the choir master, so I'm preparing the chorus, and so it's been a neat experience, a different experience, but really neat. So I'm excited to see the opera and all that kind of good stuff.
You said choir master.
Choir master.
Listen, why does that sound like some type of game? And like you have to get through a level to like, you have now entered the room of the choir master.
And
Dun,
this,
dun, dun.
and this is why we are red and green. We are so opposite. We're like, wow.
Yeah, we are. So, um, I have never been to an opera in my life.
Okay.
So this will be my first.
Yep. Gotta check it out.
I'm kind of nervous.
See. Don't be.
No, I've Googled it because obviously I don't think it's in English. Right?
Correct.
So I'm not going to know what they're saying.
Well, the thing about it is they have a like if you look above like on the stage, they have English translations. So as the singers are singing, you can just read what they're saying.
I'm going to Google it anyway.
God no.
It won't spoil the ending. I don't like it. You know, like a lot of people are like, "Don't tell me the ending. Don't tell me what happens." Like, I don't watch a show
Mhm.
until like I'm all like it's all out, and I might Google the ending. I still want to watch it, but don't ruin it for me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Do you care if you have an ending ruined?
Not really, unless it's a movie.
See, I don't care about that.
Nah, I care about that.
I would rather know it than have like the cliffhanger that breaks my heart,
No,
or you like get punched in the gut.
I want the cliffhanger that breaks my heart or get punched in the gut. I want that.
You're weird.
I mean, that's okay, but that's what I want.
I mean, you're probably not weird because probably that's really the way that like 99% of the population is.
Yeah.
It's just me with my freaking codependent baby self that
I'm glad you
like, oh,
identify all those issues. Listen, it's like this.
control freak.
It's like it's like that.
Yeah, I'm a control freak and I like to control the outcomes of things. And my emotions being one of those things that I like to control.
I get it. I get it.
It's so stupid. I will beckon the requests and prayers of our listeners for
Yes.
me on Monday night at 8 o'clock.
What's happening? What's happening?
My calculus final.
Girl, you gonna pass that. Let me tell you something. As long as you recognize that regardless of what that math problem is, 2 times 2 is 4, you got it. Just put a 4 for every answer. Okay.
You don't want me to graduate, do you?
You know, that would be messed up. He said 4, and that's a F.
I mean, because like I've had answer. You know what one of the answers were on my homework yesterday?
What?
This was an answer. 72 over 127. Like, how's that even a fraction?
First of all, what's the point of that number like that?
There's not one. Listen, I ain't even going down that road. They've already heard me rant about math.
Right.
But anyway, so, and then that will be my very last thing that I have to do. And I'm done. And then I'm going to go hog wild. Spring. No, what is it? What is it that people do? Look, I'm going to go to Disney World. It's like down the road.
Oh man, I miss Disney.
I miss Disney.
Jeez.
Your busyness is ruining my life.
I don't see why it's ruining your life, but that's just kind of
I
funny.
don't get to do anything fun. I'm just waiting.
I said, girl, you better stop talking all that. Stop talking all that stuff. Stop talking all that stuff. Have yourself a merry, merry, merry.
What are you doing? Are you having a stroke?
Where you get a stroke out of that?
Because you started singing Christmas like you didn't know what time it was.
No, I'm a musician. We're random. Ding dong merrily on the Christmas bells.
Do you know that fun fact, people that don't live in Florida, do you know that Epcot plays candlelight music year round?
Not candlelight for Christmas season. No, not candlelight music.
It's music that is played in candlelight.
I disagree.
Why would you disagree when you know that that's a lie? You know that they
not a
do.
lie. I've
You
been
literally
there.
had a conversation about it.
No, they play. Listen, they really don't. They play holiday music, and the holiday music is not the music that's in the candlelight show. It's just not.
It is.
Okay. Okay.
I'm going next time we go. I'm going to be like candlelight,
Okay.
candlelight.
Okay. And we're gonna report back. We're like,
Yeah, because I know the only reason I would ever know those songs is by candlelight, Jeff.
no.
I don't know them any
What?
other way.
Really? Take a breath.
Really,
Take a breath. You don't get wound up.
I did. What's that one that you do and it's real fast? And they like rejoice with exceeding great joy. That's only a candlelight song.
Yeah, and they don't play that. They do not. They're not playing that this month. Sorry.
They did do it.
Listen,
Whatever.
for
You can
the
be wrong.
for, for the sake of the argument, you're right.
I'm mad at now.
You mad? You mad than a wet hen?
I am mad at the way.
I said, why you mad as a wet hen?
Have you ever seen hand wet?
No, but I hear so many times from you. No, man.
Yep. I do get mad at the wet hand. Sometimes it's at you.
Huh?
Sometimes it's at you.
I don't.
Not really.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Do I get mad at you? I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
You know when I get mad at you the most?
What?
When you're irritating. Like when you purposely are trying to irritate. And I don't know why you do that.
That's just not who I am. I don't just go around antagonizing people.
Yes, you do. Your mother literally said that.
Listen. But my mom, that's my mom. Do you really think she knows what she's talking about? Come on.
Yes.
It's my.
And your mama listens.
Listen.
Hi.
Listen. I'm just joking, mama. I know I antagonize people. Listen. I need to be quiet just in case I'd be listening to a podcast and a fist come through a fist come
I
through
mean,
the face.
honestly.
It'd be my mama swinging on me. Mama, why you swinging on me?
That's funny. That makes me laugh. So we had, I'm transposing. Oh, and by the way, I have nothing. I've done nothing except your stuff. So if we recap my week, it was I did what he just said he did. I
really.
I attended, he worked, and I did homework and work.
And it was great to have you there and you kind of see that world. But I tell you, I'm so ready for the school year to be done. Ooh.
I almost said praise be, but I think that's from like what is that from? Handmaid's Tale.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't seen that show, have you?
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's on Hulu. What's the big fruit? But
Okay.
people gonna have opinions on that. You wanna?
Oh, I never heard of
I
it.
don't think you can handle that show.
No, you're right. I can't. Know what you're talking
I
about.
don't think you could. So I was asked a question in the email by one of your former students.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't tell me this.
I know, because I thought, well, it's gonna make
But the thing
Gonna
about
make
it,
a good topic.
but since I'm not the one to go read those emails and all that
I
stuff,
know.
I mean, that's all you. I was like, I don't know what to say. You tell me.
So they asked me, I was posed a question,
Mhm.
and they said, it seems like, from my understanding, that you're a widow. Am I right? Yes, I'm a widow. So I'll answer that question first. And it says that you seem so happy and well adjusted. How did you do it? Well, I could give like a 4-hour conversation about how I didn't just, it wasn't like somebody died and then I woke up well adjusted.
Yeah. It wasn't
Like,
pop goes the widow. It wasn't like that.
yeah, no, no. But 11 years later, I'm good. Uh, you know, grief is a thing that's always going to be there. Okay. But which I think grief is a beautiful thing though, at the same time, because if you think about grief, when you see someone, they're grieving because they loved.
Mm-hmm.
You grieve because you love.
Right.
So whether you're grieving I mean, you can grieve a friendship that has passed. You can grieve a marriage after a divorce. You can grieve because you're sad over what was there. And in and of itself, love was there.
Right.
So it's, to me, the way I worked my way out of the grief, one is faith. I have faith. People who know me know I have faith. But I think we've talked about that on here. But two is, and I know that you know this, I am very aware of my mortality.
Yes.
Something that wakes you up real quick is the realization I'm a different person than I was the day before he died. The day before he died and the day after he died, Kristie was two totally separate people. That was a definement.
Mm-hmm.
Because I realized there's the feeling of that happens to other people. It's so sad when other people die and it don't happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You really become aware of what your own mortality is. Yeah. And in that, in the awareness of my mortality, it gave me a freedom because life is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Life is weird. Like my hair, I have a bleach blonde mohawk. I love it. We've talked about this before. My mom hates it. I only live once.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I like it and it's not harming anyone, do it. But then there's things too, like, I used to get so caught up about what people thought of me.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted people to like me. Life's too short. To like at the end of the day, this too is going to pass, right? No matter what you're in right now. So like, guess what? I'm so dreading that final on Monday,
Right.
25th. But guess what? It's on the 26th. It's over.
It's done. That's right.
Whether I pass it or fail it, the outcome on the 26th would either be me graduating or not.
Mm-hmm.
If I graduate, great. If I didn't graduate, guess what? I'd take that class again until I graduate.
That's right.
That's literally the options, right? Like,
mm-hmm.
So I could sit here and work myself up in a tizzy and freak out. Or just say, is that what I want to spend my time on?
Right.
I don't. Right? So it is, I've allowed myself to become curious. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And explore the things that I am curious about. Like, if I couldn't fail, I'll pose this question to you. What would you can answer it or not. Up to you. But for everybody else to think of, if everything would work out, everything would be fine, what would you do? If it was all going to work out, what would you do? Would you do things differently? Right? Yeah. Like if you couldn't fail, you knew it'd all work out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do?
What would I do differently?
Or what would you do? Just what would it be? Would you be a public speaker? Would you quit your job and go backpack across Europe?
Huh. No,
would you?
I wouldn't do that, but
would you? I hate you. He's making fun of me in the camera.
I'm really not. That's you doing it to me.
Whatever. But like, what would it look like to you?
I don't know. Good question.
Here's something. So I worked for a company at one point. And every day I had concern over these scores.
Uh-huh.
And if these scores wasn't where they should be, then the company would leave. And the like, could everybody lose their job because I didn't keep these scores up?
Right.
The anxiety that I felt every day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Life is too short to feel that way.
Yes.
So for me, I had to have a realization, like, what would it look like for me?
Right.
Like, I used to think I wanted to be like Captain Corporate and ride the corporate ladder. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, ride it.
You did say right.
You know what I mean? And now I've realized that, yeah, that's not me.
Uh-huh.
I like to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
work 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is, do my job, get my job done well and properly,
Mm-hmm.
and then do things I want to do, like a podcast,
Right.
create art,
Right.
go to school, do the things that give me joy,
Mm-hmm.
and try things out.
Right.
And get curious over different things. That's the way I maintain like my happy. And to be honest, I'm lazy. I mean, like, I am. Like,
lazy.
No, I'm driven, but I'm lazy. Like, I'm curious. I listen to podcasts all the time. I listen to audiobooks all the time.
Uh-huh.
I'm very curious to learn new ways to communicate, right?
Right.
Like, listen, if me and you are having a conversation
Mm-hmm.
and we're constantly arguing,
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather figure out a way to say something a little different, to communicate better, just
Right.
to not have an argument.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I'm curious to find ways to do things differently. It don't have to be the way that I think.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
Perfect sense.
And like, the other thing that you have to do to be, air quote, I think, well adjusted, and I'm not well adjusted. I mean, I'm pretty decently adjusted, I think. But as to what she was saying,
Mm-hmm.
you have to look at yourself first. You got to fix yourself
Mm-hmm.
before you can fix anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to give yourself grace before you can give grace to other people. You have to forgive yourself before you have to allow yourself to make mistakes.
Right.
Because we as a group will go to other people and be like, everybody makes mistakes. It's not a big deal. Do you allow yourself to make mistakes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or are you a person who likes to point out everybody else's mistakes?
Right.
You know some of those? I do.
Yeah.
So I guess that would probably be one of the biggest things I would say is fix yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be through therapy, medication. Well, medication, yeah, maybe. Meditation, prayer, culmination of all of it, whatever it is that you need to do to fix you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think it's different for everyone. And so it could be a combination of all those things or none of those things.
Yeah, true.
And so it's everybody's journey, everyone's path are their own, and everyone's solution on how to get there is their own also. So I don't think you can pigeonhole one thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you get labeled as one thing.
No, I don't think you can label it, but I think it's something where everybody needs to have an awareness of fixing them.
Right, and awareness is different. Yes, absolutely. But the thing about it is, the things I said could fix me at 20, I saw it differently when I was 30. You know what I'm saying? And so as you go through life, you have different life experiences educate you if you allow it to. And so that's where therapy comes into, if you can do therapy from that standpoint, because then you can talk to your therapist and say, hey, I thought about it this way, but, personally for myself, I was at my therapist today. It was a great session. And it was, things I thought when I was younger or how I would handle a situation, I wouldn't handle now. And that's basically because she talked about barriers, boundaries. Boundaries even comes, boundaries about, hey, doesn't matter if this person doesn't like you, or does it matter if this person likes you? What is your boundary? You know what I'm saying? So I see it differently now. And so from that standpoint, I'm still evolving in a healthy way while I still deal with my own baggage. So
Well,
if I didn't have, go ahead.
I will say this, just talking about like people not liking you and people liking. There's people who hate God. God, the person that is the epitome of love and
Mhm.
honor. Aren't we awful arrogant to think that everybody's going to like us if there's people that don't like God?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
Right,
people
right,
just
right, right,
they gonna be people that ain't gonna like you.
right,
Like just because, like, and it will have nothing to do with you
right, exactly.
or me
Right,
or
right, exactly. So, but the point is, because you're absolutely right, but the point is, how do you get to that healthy spot? Everyone gets there differently. Someone needs an assist on what's what. You know what I'm saying? And you just kind of figure out what that is and you keep going. Find what it is and you keep going.
okay.
You have to learn not to, you have to learn not to take on other people's baggage based upon them. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's
Hmm.
directed towards you. You have to
Say it again.
learn. You have to learn to not take on someone else's baggage. Um, it's that quote that I told you about that we talked about today. I'd rather be somebody's shot of whiskey than everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
You can't be special and unique and liked by everybody. You
Right.
know, and so going back to what you said, how I would take something like that at 20 years old is totally different how I handle it now. But you know what I'm saying? That's just through therapy and so on and so forth. And you just learn.
Well, I mean, like I would say one. You said it like you did say it. The way that you handle things at 20 is completely different now.
Yeah.
And like one of the like relationally speaking, because this is the other thing that she had asked. You segued and didn't even know you were.
I'm sorry.
As far you segued and you didn't even know you were segueing
Okay.
to the
They asked me a question? Oh, well, you a question.
me
Okay, gotcha.
and well us, but me because I
Hmm.
read it
Right.
and but relationships.
Hmm.
How do you maneuver relationships with another person? And I think they were discussing in the romantical sense.
Uh-huh.
Like that's the way it read. I
Hmm.
should have pulled it up, but anyway, I didn't.
Hmm.
But I see it as two boats.
Hmm.
You're in an ocean. You all are doing your own thing, right? Like you have your own life, you have your own thoughts.
Hmm.
I have my own thoughts. You have your own thoughts.
Hmm.
Jacoby has his own thoughts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody's in this, but they have their own experiences as what's going on. Just because you're in a relationship with somebody doesn't mean that they too are not having their own experiences.
Right.
They go to work, you go to work, or whatever your daily life is, whatever you're doing. Now,
Right.
and you're trying to flow together. If you're too close, if you're like this and you're on top of each other all the time,
Hmm.
you're gonna wreck your boat.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So it's finding a balance of letting the person live, like live their little boat
Hmm.
sailing life to where you don't crash. And but then if you see them drifting, over here, you start saying, "Hey, hmm?"
Hmm.
But being comfortable enough to say, "Hey, why are you drifting over here?"
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
And having a conversation. I mean, I think it's one of those things. I would say that you and I, being in this podcast, have had to work on having we've had to say exactly what we've wanted and what we don't want,
Right.
and have had to be mean.
You don't have to be mean.
Well, no, no, no. Like I call it mean,
Hmm.
but it's not mean. See, that's the issue. That's an issue that like I have. It's not mean. It's being honest and saying what you need.
It's about how you deliver it. It has nothing to do
Right.
with being
Right. But
unkind. Yeah.
as a person who has brought up or has lived their life as a people pleaser, right? And has tried to get away from it, especially when you care about somebody, whether it's your friend, your partner, your parent, whatever. It's hard to say something that's not praiseworthy.
Right.
So, like, I feel like we as a team have become very good at accepting open communication, open criticism. Okay, we had a break for a moment because he had to take a call. So I'm just going to jump back into a spot, and I don't know exactly where I was at. So we're going to hope this flows.
Let's
This is live.
focus. Yes, yes.
So anyway, but we were talking about being in relationships, and here's another piece of advice that I have got about relationships and being adjusted. If you are in a relationship and you want that person to stay, treat them like you want them to stay. I know that sounds like rocket science,
Hmm.
but like literally treat them like you want them to stay. Like, I don't know who said it. Somebody said it, but like whatever you did to get them, do the same thing to keep them.
Right.
But like another thing that I mean too, like treat them like you want them to stay. Like don't be gross.
Don't be what?
Gross. Like have manners. Say thanks.
Hmm.
Like
We need some details behind that. Don't be
yeah, no,
gross.
I mean, but like
What? Hmm.
no, but I mean, like there's people who are like, I swear, this was I'm. There was a person that I knew who literally, when their significant other was going number two, they would go in there and sit with them and talk to them. And I mean, if that's what you all choose to do as a couple and you're okay with it, to each their own. But if 50% of that party is not comfortable with that, that should never happen. And I'm telling you right now, I would never want that to happen in my life.
Move.
No, yeah, like no. Like, can we please like if there's ever, how I said two boats, if you're too close, you'll crash, you crash, you crash.
Hmm.
That's crashing to me.
Yeah. And the thing
I don't
about
want
it
to
is
know when.
every relationship is different, and it's more so you have to define what works for the couple, not what works for a past relationship that you want to you know what I'm saying? It's you're two different people. You have to,
Right.
and sometimes you don't know what works for you because you're still learning
It's
too.
trial and error
You
for
know, you're
sure.
still learning who you are or who you thought you were at one point, and then so it's like, yeah, it's an ever evolving. You're changing, you're growing, and the goal is to hopefully that person grow with you through healthy, constant communication and so on and so forth. Easier said than done, but needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me personally. It kind of goes back to like Don Miguel Ruiz and the Four Agreements. Do the thing of don't take everything personally, but if somebody tells you something, listen to them. Like, and I'll tell you, this is something you as a person are good at this.
Me.
Yeah, at least currently in your life. I don't know. I mean, you might not have used to have been, but if there is something, unless you're being a punisher, because sometimes you're just a punisher and you do it on purpose.
I'm being
But
that.
I have a very bad distractibility. Like, how people will say not to interrupt you, but okay,
Yeah.
you're definitely interrupting me.
I'm sorry, but then don't apologize. Don't say
Yeah,
but. Just be
yeah,
quiet.
you're not. But negates everything that you said before it.
Yeah.
So,
But you're right.
you are really good about if you start to do that, and I'm like, please don't, you'll stop.
Right.
Like, well, you're like, I hope I don't forget what I was gonna say, but we all gonna write it down, right? Like,
Right.
and try to
Right now.
remember.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to be able to just have open and healthy conversation, be to say what you want and to say what you want in a relationship. Like, there's nothing wrong with
No,
it. And don't give unrealistic expectations. Because here's the thing, you don't know. Like, if I wanted you to bring me a Coke Zero from 7-Eleven in a cup, and oh, Ryan, my dog just crashed.
Mhm.
Don't. You're going to start something.
Yeah, Brian, stop barking. Go ahead.
But if if I didn't tell you to bring me a Coke Zero
Hmm.
on your way over here to record a podcast, and then I walk around feeling that neglected and upset because you did not read my mind.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it sounds silly, right? Like, how you gonna be mad at him for not bringing you a Coke Zero if you didn't tell him to bring you one or ask?
You should know.
How's he supposed to know?
Yeah.
Well, why would that not be the same if you like, hey, listen, I feel insecure right now. I need you to tell me that you find me attractive still.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I tell you that, right,
Mm-hmm.
then you as the partner,
Mm-hmm.
you know, can then tell the other partner, like, it opens up a vulnerability, yeah, to where you can, if you receive it, if the person receives it and you receive it well, if somebody tells you that they need something and you receive it well, you're going to feel more comfortable to tell them what it is that you're needing or what you're missing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I operate.
Right.
So when they ask me, how is it that you're adjusted? Life is short. I could get hit by a bus tomorrow walking down the street. I'm not going to sit around and play games. I know, I know that if I need something, I can tell it.
Let me add a caveat to that. It's because everything you're saying, I absolutely agree with. I want to add something though to the people out there is about how you talk to people. You can, is that goes a long way in getting what you need. If you talk at people instead of to them, you probably won't get it. And your intention can be the greatest, but how does it function? Intention versus function. If it does not function how you intended it to function, then you need to reassess on how you communicate it to the person. And so I'm a big stickler of that period. It's like, okay, you can't talk at people or talk down to people and then say love me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I think that kind
No,
of.
no, not you. I'm just talking about something in general.
Oh,
Not
I
you
know
know.
not me.
Yeah, no, you gotta stop
Fine.
it. No, listen, I don't know. What I'm just trying to say is that oftentimes you have to create the environment. One, it's two things. You must create the environment that people feel safe to speak. Secondly, you must have the courage to speak and not talk at people. So therefore you get to learn each other and then grow together. That's what I think. I'm not an expert, that's just what I think.
What do you mean by talk at people? What is that? What does that look like? Give me an
Um,
example.
if someone talks down to you, they want you like let's say Coke Zero. When you come home, can your butt give me a Coke Zero? I'm sick and tired of you coming here and not bringing me a Coke Zero. Or, hey, I know you're tired, but when you come home, if you feel like it, would you mind stopping by the store and give me a Coke Zero? I truly appreciate it. It's two different things. So therefore, one, I'm talking at you and giving you a command. The second thing, I'm saying, I let you know I appreciate. First of all, I acknowledge that you're tired. Secondly, I appreciate that you've been thinking about it. And thirdly, could you do it for me? I did three steps. So therefore, what does that do? It lowers defenses.
Hmm.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue. You lower defenses. You get people to hear you. It's like somebody walks up to you and slaps you, and then you say, "Can you listen to me?" Well, first of all, I can't get over the slap first, so I'm not hearing you. So therefore, that's how words are. It regardless of what you're intending it to be. If you come at somebody and then you literally dismiss their feelings, oh, you just too sensitive. So therefore, then you literally dismiss how they feel. How in the world do you expect to get what you need? You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I'm at. It's like it's also about how do you create the environment where you don't talk at each other, but you talk to each other. and then you go from there.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
mean, that's
think
just and that's just like I said, not coming from an expert point of view. It's more so that's what's kind of what I think when I hear
well,
that.
I think that that goes with everything.
Yeah,
Like that, you can
absolutely,
take that. You can take that to the bank. You can take that to work.
absolutely
That would be applicable at work. That's applicable at home. That's applicable with. I almost said your children, but sometimes you have to talk to your kids.
applicable.
But um, yeah, no, I think that that is a good example. And like for if you don't feel filled, if you don't
Uh-huh.
FEEL
Hmm.
space FILLED,
Do
you're the
not.
one who knows it.
Right.
Open your
Exactly.
mouth.
Exactly.
And but also know your what you are willing and ready to put up with. There's a show, The Ultimatum. Have you seen it? It's on Netflix.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, you ain't seen TV. You probably don't even know what TV is right now because you've been too
No,
busy.
exactly. I mean, say, what you talking about TV? What you talking about?
Anyway, there's this show and it's these couples and they give an ultimatum.
Right.
Like, marry me or we're gonna break up. Now
Uh-huh.
here's the funny thing. They're all like in their 20s.
They're what?
They're all like in their 20s.
Okay. That's
It's like, I mean, listen, I would be much more into the show if it was like they've been dating for 12 years.
right.
Like they're like, we've been together a year and 3 months and he really needs to put a ring on it. Sis, sit down.
Yeah. Right.
But anyway, if you want to watch a train wreck, that's a show.
Right.
But anyway, um, but at the same time, you do know what you want,
Right.
right? Like know what you want and know what your boundaries are and know what you're willing to, what you need in your life,
Mm-hmm.
but understand that that's not going to be for what it, like, I might have a boundary of, you know, I need you to bring me a Coke Zero every time when you come here. And
Right.
you're like, I ain't your step and fetch, and I ain't bringing you a Coke Zero every time. This is the
Well,
dumbest
it was a
example.
step and fetch, but okay.
A step and fetch?
Yeah.
I ain't your step and fetch.
Never heard of it.
That means like, go get this, go do that, go do this.
I ain't just step and fetch.
You can write that down.
I ain't just step and fetch.
There you go. But then at that point, do I want to do a podcast with you?
Right.
Maybe I need to get my own Coke Zero. Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, thank you for coming to my talk. I
I mean,
appreciate
well,
it. There's the answer to your question. Have a good
that's it.
day. So close it.
So today was fun. We busy, and we're happy that we're able to get you a podcast, and we absolutely appreciate your wonderful support. It's been good. We've done a lot of episodes.
And I've been working on my reels.
Okay, you sure have. You've been killing it. Continue
So
to kill it.
Instagram be popping. Get over there.
Hmm. But if you have any questions, let us know.
Yeah, and also when you send me a question, let me know if I can use your name or not. Because I would love
Tyronda.
I would love to say your name, but then when it's like personal, let me know. Just don't say my name or say my name.
Hello, my name is Tyronda, and I want
Tyronda.
Anyway,
Okay.
so thank you for listening to us. We'll see you next week.
On red and green.
The podcast.
Bye.
Bye.